everyone, in today's video I'll be showing you how I did this sunflower illustration using brush markers. Now when using brush markers or any marker, try not to use a graphite pencil or graphite transfer paper because that's going to smudge and you're also going to stain your nib of your marker. So try to use another piece of paper. In this case I'm using the touch marker paper, which is quite thin, so when I lay it over my initial drawing I can actually use a Copic Multiliner to trace my outline of my drawing and then start working in with my Winsor & Newton Pro Brush markers. Now I've started off with a base layer of the lightest yellow that I've got, and now I'm going in with the next yellow, which is slightly darker yellow, just to get in some difference between the darker and lighter shades. I am going to come through with some darker yellows in this as we go on. So now you can see I'm going in with the darker yellow just to get some of that darker shadow areas and to get some variation of the colors that I'm using of the yellows. The petals all have different colors and the one overlapping one another have some shadow areas. And I'm also coming in with some orange now, a lighter orange, just to define those shadow areas and also give a little bit of texture and design or pattern to the petals. That just makes the flower really pop by adding this little detail in there. Now sunflowers are not orange, they are yellow, but they do have hints of orange in them depending on the light angle of the light and the shadow areas as well. Now what I'm doing for the center of the sunflower is I'm using different browns. I'm using the lighter brown and the medium browns just to do little dots and get those little stippling dots of the marker over the center of the sunflower. And then I'm going to come in with a darker brown and black, and I'm going to be alternating between the black and the darker brown just to define that center and create that texture of the center of the sunflower. But I'm making sure that I'm leaving spaces in between as I alternate between black and brown. So if I use black, I leave a little bit space in between for the darker brown, and if I'm using brown, vice versa, I leave a little bit space for the black. But I'm also letting some of that under colors that I put in the initial colors of the lighter brown and medium brown show through, just to add a bit more dimension to the center of the flower and make it look a bit more realistic. We're not looking for a very realistic drawing here. This is markers and it got an illustration feel to it, but we still want it to look like an actual sunflower. So this is as realistic as you can go using markers. Because this is outlined, it is going to have a bit of illustration look. So I'm using a black jelly roll pen just to get in some of those little edging onto the petals and from the center of the flower. And I'm going in with some more of that orange just to better define some of those shadow areas and the patterns on the petals. Now I'm going in with a lighter green, and I'm just getting in the green over the leaves and as well as the stem. And I'm going to come through with the darker green just to define those shadows and the patterns on the leaves as well. So now I'm using the darker green and I'm just defining those shadow areas and giving it a sort of a three-dimensional look. By varying the colors and adding the shadows and retaining the highlighted or the light areas and the dark areas, you make it look more three-dimensional. So I went over with some lighter green again, and I'm just using a light brown just to get in those lines and the veins on the leaves. And now I'm just going in with a medium gray, one of the cool grays, but not the too dark one, and not something in the middle, not too light, not too dark, just to get in those shadow areas. And I'm using the blending marker that comes in the set just to blend those colors together and better define those shadow areas and get it to blend in with the lighter greens. So I guess that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, don't forget to like and share, and don't forget to subscribe. Till the next one, bye.